Everybody, this is Chris Guitaro from the band Razor. Today I'm showing you guys the Jack Casady model Epiphone bass. And this bass is truly a hollow body bass. There's a little confusion that maybe it's semi-hollow. It's actually hollow body. There is a block underneath the bridge position down here that stops here. It doesn't extend like, say, an ES335 would. So this really is nice hollow body tone going through the whole thing. So this is not a reissue of the Gibson, although it does look similar. This is a completely new bass that Jack got together with Epiphone and designed. It's got his own signature electronics that were made specifically for this bass. Designed by Jack and Epiphone, it features a JCB1 low impedance humbucker in combination with a vari-gain switch, which basically gives you control over how much gain you want to go from the output of the bass into a recording situation. So set in the 50 position, this is low gain for a nice clean output, really good for direct recording. When you move it to the 250 position, it adds a little bit more punch, a little bit more gain, kind of an in-between. When you get all the way up to the 500 position, this is high gain output, which also produces a nice warm kind of fuzzy tone to the output, which is awesome. Puts a nice clean distortion, if you would, on top of the tone. Combined with the JCB1 pickup, this is like a really pure bass tone that you'll get with this bass. So the neck is actually a really nice meaty neck on it, by the way. Feels good in the hand with the 1960s rounded bass profile, which is very cool. Jack always says that a thinner neck doesn't necessarily mean more comfortable. I tend to agree with them. I like a big neck in my hand. It just feels more solid. And in this one is very meaty, very comfortable mahogany, which provides part of that meaty tone. The bridge is an original 3-point adjustable bridge. So we got a master volume, a master tone, the 3-position vari-gain, which I talked about earlier. And then also we've got 34-inch scale length. The headstock is a sloped dove wing with vintage Epiphone logo. In pearloid, it's got the Jack Casady signature and the gold silk print. The frets are 20 medium jumbos, rosewood fingerboard. The machine heads are die-cast clover bass tuners. And this bass is a special edition in alpine white. The bass comes also in its standard form in metallic gold top, an ebony, and also a very cool silver burst. So let's go ahead and let's check out some tones on this guy. For first examples, I'm actually going to go ahead and run the bass into a bass rig and let you guys hear what it sounds like through an amp. Here's some through the very clean sounding 50 ohm setting. Here's a little bit through the 250 position. So here's some playing using the super high gain 500 ohm setting. Here's some more on the 500 ohm setting, except this time I'm going to turn down the tone knob. The tone knob is very sensitive on this bass, which I think is cool. So you can go from a very aggressive sounding, kind of hollow, upper mid-range sounding thing to a very low, muffled, kind of mellow bass tone. Check this out. You notice when I turn that tone all the way down, it gets a little bit more of that bass. The sustain on this thing is just for days, for days, for days. That's another cool feature when you have these, you can go in and out of trying the different vari-gain settings and turning around and trying different things with the tone. Lots of cool tones in this bass. So now you got to hear some tones on this bass here at a sound stage. I did actually have the opportunity to take this out to a live acoustic gig. So here's a few things from that just for let you see what it sounds like. All we're using is the camera, had a little GoPro running, so it's very raw, just kind of tone coming off the stage, but I think it's pretty cool. Check this out. All right, cool guys. Now we're gonna go back to my home studio and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna record some tracks with this, let you guys hear what it sounds like in recording. Let's go. Hey everyone, so we're back at my home studio and I have the Jack Casady bass out, and what we're going to do in this section of the video, I'm going to go ahead and record directly right into the I/O, no amp, no anything else. That's one of the very cool features about this bass, is that with the vari-gain setting you can knock this down to 50 ohms and get a very clean direct signal. That coupled with it being a hollow body bass, you're getting just this really pure tone straight into the tape, which is very cool. So I'm going to show you guys a few examples of just what it sounds like. Again, we're at the 50 ohm setting, okay? I'm going to show you the same 50 ohm setting, except I'm going to turn the tone knob all the way down. It gets a really cool, mellow kind of a vibe going on when you put the tone all the way down. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up to the 250 ohm setting. It's a good intermediate setting where you start adding a little more gain down the barrel into the I/O. You're going to start kind of front loading that preamp or that I/O a little bit and go to the 250, get a little bit dirtier sound. Check it out. Tone down. All right, now I'm going to move it up to the 500 ohm setting, which I kind of really dig. What you're doing is you're really throwing a lot of gain down the barrel into the I/O. Makes a really cool, warm, dirty, fuzzy thing that I really dig in a bass tone. And with this hollow body, you really get the body resonating a lot, which can do some interesting things, especially with a little bit of feedback with all that gain coming down. Check it out. right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the bass in its different vari-gain settings in a track with some drums, just to give you guys a little feel of what it sounds like in a mix with a kit. The kit is a real kit. It's not an Easy Drummer or any of those kind of electronic kits, so you'll get to hear a little bit of how it airs out with a real kit. So check it out. Here's the 50 ohm setting. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same groove, except I'm going to switch it over to the 250 ohm setting and let you check it out. It'll have a little bit more gain, a little bit more bite into the tone on the track. Check it out. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the highest gain setting, the 500. One thing you're going to notice as we've been going along, with each gain setting going up, it gets a little more compressed sounding. Basically what's happening is the output from the bass is hitting the I/O or the preamp very hard, or harder as it goes along, ultimately with the 500 being the hardest, which does a cool thing. It puts a lot of kind of fire and spit on the tone with a nice little warm fuzzy distortion that comes into it. You'll see what I mean. Check this out. There it is, the Jack Casady bass. Hopefully that gave you guys a little bit of insight on what it sounds like and what it does and all the cool features it has. For more information, go to www.epiphone.com. You can hear about all the guarantees, warranties, subtleties, and everything else you ever want to know about this bass. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Chris Cataro. See you.